Welcome back. Well, there was a new map published, and it was reported on by the Maryland Reporter that there are varying levels of funding at the county level for pensions for state employees. And it looks to me, Ron, like Washington County is not so well funded at this point. What did you take out of that article?
I'm getting the same thing from the state, but this has been an issue since Paul Muldowney was a delegate that took on the retirement system in the state of Maryland clear back in the 80s. And there was issues then, there's issues now. There's issues with how much they need a year, how much they're actually getting for a year. I'm still not confident that what I've read that the counties have that liability, because didn't they turn that back over to the school system? The school system picked up a portion of that a couple years ago.
The school system does have the burden of their pension plan, but the counties has the burden of theirs. And
state employees, though.
But then we look at our county is 47% funded,
right,
as of June of 2017. So maybe.
And now the latest is 49%, so we made some progress.
We're going in the right direction.
but it looks to me, of the counties that are underfunded, we are underfunded the most.
From what I read and looked at.
Because the next is like 56 or 59%.
Now that's over how many? That's over how many years now, since it's been in effect?
Well, I think that
I just want.
Well, I think when I read the article, is that actually we were in better standing a few years ago.
Yes.
And for some reason, over that period of time, our financial standing has done a nosedive. And part of the discussion, reading another one, is how the system is funded, how the system is invested, involving potentially outside investors. Then you have a commission cap that you're paying for them on the investment. So it's really complicated versus having, just having the state have someone and do the investment for, having as a state employee and doing investments in the safe type of investment, because on the state level, it's sort of a roll of the dice. They have a large contingency of theirs invested in high risk, which does not pay well for the local people when you have a volatile market.
Yeah. What I would recommend that this issue be put back on again, that we can do a little bit more research with the county and maybe even have a spokesperson from the county. Because having been in the county and listening to the different things, I'm not satisfied that we're in the bad shape that people may say we are.
Well, I'm not suggesting.
No, but I don't mean you are, but I mean articles and things like that. I just want to make sure that if this goes back, it's got to go back years if you're underfunded.
Right.
Who's in charge of making sure it is funded? Are there, people that are responsible for that? I'm sure it's not just all done local, it's recommendations.
Well, the thing is that we are not an exception to the rule. Nearly every single county within the state is underfunded.
But
just our
some
percentage.
only by 5 or 10%.
Some of it's only, still 5 to 10%, but it's minor in comparison to the fact that we are 53% underfunded.
I really want to find out from some people whether that's true and what's being done.
Yeah. The reality is that this whole pension shift piece several years back, has had an impact, and it will continue to have an impact. Would you agree?
It will have an agree, but yes, it will have, but I can't believe that we're going to make sure we don't do anything with taxes and hold the line on taxes forever and not fund a pension liability. That is, that's got to be dealt with.
Well, I understand.
That's why I want more accurate information.
Do you deal with it in 1 year, or do you deal with it over time?
We deal with it over time.
The reality is that I think the thought process is in at least the upcoming fiscal year, we're going to have a bigger base and we're going to have more tax income because people have been more successful with the better economy. How long does that last? I don't know.
But at the same point, I've probably. All of us have some type of investment portfolio, and you have maybe someone manages it for you, and you see trades. You buy something for 100, and then they sit on it for 6 months, and then they sell it for 125. But then they take their cut out of the 125, and you wind up with $99 because of the transaction fees that are involved with it. So, like Ron said, I have to agree with you. We probably should get someone who has more intimate knowledge of how the system functions and see why. Is it because they made bad investments, or is it because the tax revenue base is not where they projected it to be? And why do we have these underfunding issues, and how are they going to address them?
What's the state of Maryland's underfunded? What was it, 37 billion? Something like that?
It's a rounding area.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's...
I thought it was 19.7 billion.
I think it's a little more than that.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
I
might
think
be
it's a
right.
little more than that. I really think we ought to do a segment of a program where we've got some really good folks come in, because I think a lot of people listening may be interested in how that is. And I don't want us to sit here at the table and not have the real accurate information from the county and the school board where we really are.
Okay, that's all we have for that one. Stay with us. When we come back, we will have thumbs up and thumbs down.